I'm sorry to be waiting, darling. My apologies. Okay? Please forgive me, darling. Please forgive me, darling. But I'm here now. Come on in. Come on in, you all. I don't invite. Unless, of course, you're into that type of thing. Oh, darling. Oh, darling. Oh, darling, that's neither here nor there, darling. Come on in. I want to thank you all for being here tonight. Could have been anywhere in the world. But you're here with me. And I don't take that for granted, darling. I don't take that for granted at all. It seems like we're having some tall girl problems. And it looks like my head is cut off. Let me adjust this, darling. Don't you move, darling. Stay right there, darling. Don't you move. You know, you have tall girl problems sometime. Okay, and looks like I'm having one right now. So, sorry to keep you waiting, darling. All right, now my head is not in the clouds, cut off. It's a struggle. It really is a struggle being a stallion out here. It's not easy. Somebody has to do it. Might as well be me, darling. So tonight we are going to be talking about wife talk. How when the fellas sit around, they talking money and they talking business and they be like, talk. We're gonna have some wife talk tonight. Okay? So we're kind of at a divide here. You have women that are very open. You have the women who are either married, want to be married. Then you have the women that say they don't want to be married. Now, y'all know my philosophy. My philosophy is when a woman says she don't want to be married, that's cap. Oh, hold on now. Hold on a second. I just heard yes, y'all know how I do. Hold on now. Thank you to this person, even though I don't understand what you wrote. I don't understand, but thanks. So we're kind of at a divide. Now, for me, I think it's cap. When a woman say, I don't want to be married, from what I've seen, when I put two and two together and do calculations, it be cap. I believe that as women, we are naturally wired to want to be under the protection and name of a man. It's been this way for eternity. I don't think that all of a sudden now the women have just changed and now the women are like, oh, I don't want to be married. I don't believe in the fact that women minimalize one of our greatest contributions to society, which is being wives and mothers. And somehow we got to this place where it was like, I could be more than a mother or more than a wife, or life is not about having a husband. Life is not about getting married. And it's like, But what's wrong with that though? On a serious note, I look at how much more work we give ourselves. All right. So one thing I realized was, how can you really see the value in and desire something that you maybe have never seen? So I realized that for so many of us, we just never seen what being someone's wife really looked like in real life, like the day by day. Like not what we see in movies and TVs. Like we've never seen it in our day-to-day lives like that. So I feel like when it's something you're not exposed to, most married people and single people don't tend to hang out or be friends. To me, you end up with a group of people that have an idea of something that has never been done by them, or they've never seen it, and it ends up, of course, being a debacle. So I wanted to do this series called Wife Talk, where I'm going to have different wife archetypes on the show. I'm talking about architects, different wife archetypes on the show, to kind of just talk to us, just kick it with us, you know, be able to pick their brain, ask them some questions. So we're starting the series tonight, and we are starting with Miss Shareta Daniels. I'm going to tag her here, but for some reason on StreamYard, it wasn't letting me tag her. So I have to change it probably on YouTube. So she's going to be joining us later on, and we're just going to have a little talk because, you know, there's this stigma that goes around that, oh, you know, women are always the ones that want to file divorce, and oh, I don't know what that was. That women are always the ones that want to file divorce, and women are the ones that, you know, get tired of this first and this, that, and the third. And I realized, yeah, if you have somebody marrying into a fantasy, and that fantasy does not pan out to be what that person had made up in their mind, I can see why it's easy for that person to be like, wait a minute, this is not, I did not sign up for this. This was not how this was supposed to go. And I can understand how people be slight. So I think that even whether you're married or single, I feel like even as single feminine ladies desiring marriage, we need to start talking to married women and get insight. And I understand that everyone's marriage is different, which is why I said I'm going to be doing different wife archetypes and marital background stories. So like Miss Daniels, she is going to be like our archetype of like how you should do it, you know, getting married young, getting married to someone where you have a family guidance and support, or someone to look to, you know. And then we're going to talk to other wives who got married later in life. We're going to talk to other wives who got married and created blended families. We're going to be talking to different type of wives that have different stories, so that everyone can take the meat and spit out the bones from each one, and just helping us as single feminine Black women understanding what this is really going to look like. Because I do have a lot of friends who are married, and when I look at them all as a collective, especially my lady friends who are married to go-getter type of men and successful men, they get put to work. It's work. I'm like, yeah, this ain't the fairy tales like that we were told it is. I'm like, when I see how it pans out in everyday life, it's like, hold on, this ain't. It is not all of the. It's a lot of rules. It's a lot of guidelines. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of sacrifice. A lot of discipline. And I want us to start being more in tune with that, because if I sit and I have to go through, okay, so present day, when I talk to women, this is how in a woman's mind this is supposed to go. Okay, I'm gonna start from the beginning. This is how a lot of women think it's supposed to go as a single woman, and you know, transitioning into marriage with a gentleman. That they're supposed to be out here being free. You know what I'm saying? The stigma is, okay, so you be free, you know, you do what you want to do, you act how you want to act, you do what makes you happy, you live your truth. Okay, and then you meet a guy and you still do what you want, you still keep you 10 dudes on standby, and then you sit and look at the man like, so what you gonna do for me? And he needs to pay all of the bills, and he needs to make $300,000 per year because you grown and you ain't got time to be building with no man. And what else? Whew, let me think of all the rest of how it's supposed to go. And then he is supposed to compete with your 10 other guys to be the one that you give the time of day to. And then when he says, you know what, you're the gal for me, let's go ahead, then that's when you cut off the 10 other guys. But you should still keep you a guy on the side. That way you're not too into him. Okay? Let me make sure I'm getting all this right, because this is how it goes. This is what a lot of women are seriously thinking is about to happen. And I just sit back listening to this like, I don't think that's like in my spirit deep down inside just says, I don't think that's how it's supposed to go. So you all, y'all let me know if I'm missing anything. Okay? Y'all let me know if I'm missing anything. You know, so there's this idea that, you know, we're supposed to kind of just sit here with our arms folded, do whatever we want to do, you know, act however we want to act, and these men are supposed to like fight and like cut through the bushes to come fight to like be the one for us. Now, I am all for the notion that the man is the hunter and the man will come get you. Now I'm with you, sis. I don't believe in no woman sitting and chasing no man around. I don't think it's good for a woman to be the one to approach a man. I think it is subconsciously emasculating for the man. And I think that it just sets a negative tone for the relationship. By you initiating it, you'll never really know if you were really his type or if he really was interested in you. You know, so I tell you, ladies, and of course there's nuances to everything. However, on a normal basis, you know, you want to go with the man that come and get you, the one that says, okay, he is intentionally saying that he wants you to be his woman. Now that I'm all for. However, don't go to dancing yet. I do not believe that you get to do whatever you want and then the man is supposed to like fight other dudes and like whoever wins the duel wins you over. I believe that in order for you to healthily move past certain points in dating, your energy cannot be spread amongst too many different people. And I talked about this before, is I feel like this is how a lot of people do get stuck in serial dating cycles. Nobody wants to be the one to be vulnerable, to make a sacrifice. Everybody has a fantasy in their mind and they stick to that, even if that's not the way it really works. Now, different people also have different opinions and perspective when it comes to who you date. For me personally, you know me, I am all about it. I personally am not dating or married outside my race period. Any questions, if, ands, or buts, it would never happen. However, it does make things more difficult. It really is a commitment. Because now it's like, okay, if I'm looking for someone black, someone who is not about to make my child a coon, someone who is not about to teach my daughter and son indoctrinated weird stuff, okay, you start to really, it gets to be, all right, you know, this is, so it's not about settling. It's about being open-minded that not all the stories are going to go perfect the way you have in their mind. I've seen, you guys know, I do my consultations with ladies, and I cannot tell you how many ladies feel unsatisfied in their relationship because it did not follow the storyline they had made up in their mind. And it's a storyline made up of dreams. It's not based on any real life wifery you see going on. And that's when I started to learn. Oh my God, please just y'all, please help me. Do I have any mods in here right now? If I have any mods, please, any trolls leaving stupid stuff like say my name in the comments, block them. Yeah, you know, I'm not unrealistic. I understand. Yes, it's more difficult, but I understand it's more difficult and everything, but I'm not marrying outside my race, period. Okay? Call it what you want, just don't call me collect. You know, and y'all can't be listening to, and I think a lot of black people, and black women in particular, it's been it's kind of being pushed on us even more so to quote unquote keep our options open. And my thing is, if sis, if that's what you do, that's on you. But I find it strange that those same type of chicks be sucking dick. I heard about y'all. Y'all be pressing this, oh, we should divest. But every time somebody turn around, you on your knees on some black dick. I heard about y'all, but that's all I'm gonna say. I've never seen a group of women where The men's dicks are good enough to suck, but they're not good enough to marry and be with. Now, that's all I'm going to say about that. I ain't going, you ain't hear this from me. But, you know, I sure, you know, it doesn't make no sense to me. Okay? So, now you ain't hear that from me now. Okay? Don't tell them I told you this, but that doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, you know, so if you still want to deal with these men on a sexual basis, if you still want to deal with them, you know, you still looking at them deep down inside, you want to, like, why not just put your little hurt aside and go ahead and find you one that you can make it work with, even if the story ain't perfect. Okay. So I'm sorry, there really was not a softer way of me saying that. I was trying to think of one, but it just was not ringing a bell. You know, so I'm like, ladies, come on, stop that cap. Y'all be capping, talking about you gonna keep your options open as third, but you really not. Okay. I was out the other night and I seen this black girl out with this white boy, and they were just sitting there looking at each other. He was looking at her, she was looking at him. You know, me and my people came and sat down. We looking like black excellence over here, and she looking over at us like, on my own. I say, yeah, girl, you know you want to do to a black man. You see this shit look good? This shit look good. And then now you over there with that raw poultry. I know, girl, I'm sorry for you. I don't know what to tell you. You got to make better decisions. Because that ain't it. Okay? See what's going on over here? This look good. Hey, this is some good looking stuff, baby. I know you over there with all that regret and sulfur-ridden tears. You know what I'm saying? We came and sat down. I'm talking about came through that bit like black excellence. That bitch sat there. That bitch was like, I was like, damn, shawty, gots to do better. Gots to be more careful. Y'all doing all that capital over there. Talk about, oh, we go. All right. Do you? Do you? She looked and she was like, damn. I was like, I know. I know. Boy, hey, you made your decision. I made mine. Well, we all got choices, sis. You know what I mean? So, so my goal is, again, you have different people in your life, okay, that can relate to different seasons of your life. All right. So when it comes to 2021, like dating and maneuvering, I think that is a good time where the single girls got to sit and talk about our experiences, talk about, you know, things going on, because the married ladies don't know. You know what I'm saying? They don't know. It's like, y'all don't know the struggle right now. So we have to have different, this is why as feminine women, you have to have different types of women in your life, in your feminine circles. Okay, you want to have some women that been married a short time, some married a long time, some married older, some married younger. You want to have some women in your life with a bunch of kids, some with no kids. You want to have married sisters, single sisters. You need different type of sisters in your life. Okay, and that's what I want to encourage, because I feel like if we have more of that, we'll be able to progress a little bit better, because things that are normal, everyday life things will no longer look problematic. The more we sit and talk with one another and understand different real life experiences. Are you guys able to hear me? Can y'all hear me? Hold on, let me see. Someone said, somebody said my audio is down. Can y'all hear me okay? Nicole says, would you date a mixed man? No, I can't even date a mixed man. And you know why I can't? So when we have a family gathering, your white daddy is showing up. So when I want to host a party at the house, here you go, your mama black, your daddy white. And now I don't married into this, and it's a whole white man Bob at my front door. My father-in-law. No. Now the whole party, black people, like, when we hanging out with just black people, it's different than if there's a white person present. Okay? Like, if there's even one white person present, it just changes the whole dynamic. And to me, when I'm having a family gathering, family settings, like, I didn't mean to click that. Like, I want us to be able to be comfortable, be our black selves. I don't want your white daddy showing up to the family function. So, no, I cannot date mixed people. I need you to have your black mama, black daddy. Any questions? I just cannot do it. I'm not living like that the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? I was out with some folks and we was hanging out and it was some white people. It was some white people present. And my friend said, "Whoo, it's hot. I'm sweating like a slave." And I was like, "Don't say that in front of them." I was like, "See, we can't even make jokes like that." I said, "Don't say that in front of them folks." I got hit in the elbow. I was like, don't say that. He ain't mean that, y'all. Don't get no ideas. Talking about he sweating like a slave. Y'all ain't hear that. Keep moving. You know what I mean? So I can't deal with that. You know what I mean? I like for it to be all my own people. We can talk the way we want to talk. We can be ourselves. I'm not here to entertain. For when I see black folks hanging with white folks, the white folks always look so entertained. And that just grinds my gears. The white people are always just sitting like, I'm not here to entertain your ass. Don't come to my family. I don't like that. They always look so entertaining. What the hell is this? A circus? This ain't no show. Come here to entertain y'all. I'm not gonna have y'all hanging around. What if we want to dance, have a good time? I'm not even dancing in front of y'all. I ain't gonna dance in front of y'all. Let me stop talking about Bob and Brad. Let me stop talking about them before my streams start to dwindle down. Okay, so y'all remember a few videos ago, I had did the reaction to Anton Daniels' video saying how I leverage my marriage to get money, get rich. And so I was telling y'all how we need to find some content that we can react to by black people that are not hurt ass niggas. And I was saying how I'm checking out the footage of him and his family. I'm like, okay. I'm like watching a few videos, like I'm waiting to see some hurt stuff. I'm like, okay, we got a black family, no hurt. It's a good story. And I'm like, okay, these are the types of people we need to be connecting with. So, so we did a trade-off. The Anton's like, okay, you come on my channel. I said, okay, can you book me wifey? I was like, he's like a booking agent. I'm like, can we get wifey? Like, well, we need her to come talk. We need her to come kick it. Okay, they mess with me talking about my thing buffering. Y'all got me like, oh no. What's going on? I thought the spoilers was coming for me. I'm not scared about that. So we're going to have a conversation with her because we need to see the real. You know what I'm saying? We need to talk to somebody that's been in this game for a while. That's like, okay, I want us to talk to her a little bit about her story and how she feels about being that wife archetype where this is how we were supposed to do it. Now, for a lot of us harlots and Jezebels out here, our story probably may not be the same. But we need to hear about it. We want to talk about it. So she's agreed to come talk to us, you guys. I'm about to have her come on. Now let me not mess this up. 1 second. Here we go. I'm just trying. Hey, boo.
Hey, girl.
First of all, let's get into this hair.
Oh.
Honey, the hair is laid.
Oh, I thank you.
The ancestors are proud.
Okay? Thank you. Well, when you asked me to come, I said, "Oh, this girl's gorgeous. I got to step my game up."
Okay, you just came on and played us. How are you doing this evening?
I am doing really good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So where are you at right now?
I am at home. I'm actually in Anton's studio where he records all of his videos and stuff at.
So where is that at?
So it's
Florida?
no, we're in Michigan right now.
In Michigan. Okay. So
Yeah.
you're what, an hour behind me?
No, we're on the same time. It's 7 o'clock
Oh,
here.
okay. Okay, okay, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, first I want to say thank you for coming on.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
We appreciate it. I have some people that feel like, I love talking about, relationships and just talking about us as women and, our stories and us, upgrading and doing better. I love to have those discussions. And so I realized that when it comes to talking about certain aspects of relationship and marriage, you need to have a woman that's actually married to come on and talk. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So I appreciate you being willing to come on here and kick it with us.
Of course. Of course.
Y'all, if she's married, so can y'all please not be giving advances? I'm blocking. Okay, y'all doing too much. Now, I already don't say it what it is. Y'all don't have Anton coming over here going off on me. Oh no. Who said white boy sexy? We don't want no smoke. So okay. So how long have you been married?
So this coming Saturday, it will be 17 years of marriage.
17 years.
Yes, 17 years.
Wow. So how old were you when you got married?
I was 22 when I got married.
Okay. So being married for 17 years, being married young.
Mm-hmm.
In 2021, as being where you are, what do you feel about marriage present day? As a whole, not necessarily even your marriage specifically, but knowing what you've known about it, knowing your experience. I know you've heard so many different opinions on just the internet world about it, but how do you personally feel about marriage in 2021?
I feel as though people don't want to put in the work because marriage, it's fun, but I'm not gonna lie, it hasn't always been, the easiest aspect of my life. And I just feel like people don't want to put in the work. Like as soon as something happened, they're like, "Oh, I'm getting divorced," and it's like, where's the work? Like, are you going to try to work through it, or are you just gonna quit every time something happened?
So that, and it's interesting you said that. That's kind of why I titled this live the way I did, because I think that women think when you get married, like you just float on a cloud the rest of your life and have your husband fanning you and and once it's anything outside of that, they're like, "No, you're worth. Level up. You deserve better." And I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like that's how it's gonna really look.
Yeah, that's not realistic. That's not how it's going to look at all. That's definitely not realistic.
Right. So, okay. In your opinion, what does working it out look like from a woman's point of view? Does it look like picking and choosing your battles? Does it look like proving your point? Does it look like reciprocating energy? Like when you say working things out, what does that look like in your feminine energy?
So I feel like in the beginning, when I was young and immature and not knowing what I know now, it was matching the energy. Like, oh, you said this, so I'm gonna say something back, But now that we're 17 years in, I would say it's about picking your battles. And then it's also about having the conversation. Matching energy, that's tired. Like that's old, that's played out, like that's immature. It's about picking your battles and having the conversation.
So when you say have the conversation, is there a finesse in having the conversation? Like, so, because most of us, we kind of mess up when it comes to having a conversation and we be having bad timing or don't work it right. Like,
yeah.
So you and your man disagreeing on something, like, what is the correct way to approach the conversations?
I feel like that you need to know who your person is. And again, it took me a minute to even realize who Anton was, because like I said in the beginning, it's like, well, let's have the conversation now because we arguing now. So let's talk about it now. But he's the kind of person where he needs a minute to like calm down, get it together, and then come back. So now again, like I said, 17 years in, I know that now. So we might can't have the conversation in that moment. We might have to wait an hour or two. We might even have to wait till the next day, depending on what it is. But you just have to know, who your spouse is, who your person is. You have to know how to deal with them and how to handle them. So I guess that would be like the
So does that
finesse.
make you feel oppressed?
No, because I mean, like it's the same thing with me. Like I might not always want to talk about it, so he might have to give me my day or my hour. Like I might not want to talk at the moment. So I mean, it's the same thing. It's not just like he telling me and pointing at me like, wait till I'm ready to talk. No, it's like, no, okay, when you're ready to talk, then let's talk. But no, like I don't feel oppressed at all.
So you feel like by giving him the courtesy and understanding, they tend to reciprocate that back.
Yes.
As opposed to knocking everything over and being like, no, we can do this now. Like, I never have imagined that would work out well.
That's not the move. That's that's definitely not the move. Because I feel like that if you have the conversation in that moment when you're angry, you're just going to get angrier. Like you're not going to solve anything. It's just going to be just more anger and anger and anger and anger. Whereas if you wait the 10, 15 minutes, hour, next day, whatever, most of the time when you all come back and talk about it, it was a misunderstanding. You thought or you assumed or like it's really nothing. And then you end up laughing about it like, I can't believe he was even mad about that.
Okay. So you feel like you have the conversation. So it's kind of a step process. So you have the conversation, of course, when both parties are ready. And then you have to kind of get over it after that, is what it sounds like. Like, so you're saying like once you talk about it and it's deaded, you have to kind of like move forward.
Yeah, definitely. Like once you have the conversation and y'all fix it, don't bring it back up because you already fixed it. Like, what's the point in keep talking about it?
Right. So now, what would be? Well, first of all, I'm going to ask you like what your advice would be to the girls today that want to be married, and what's the best way of knowing the right man to say yes to. But before that, can you just give us a story on how you met your husband and kind of the story behind how you decided you were going to say yes and kind of sign up for that wife life?
Ooh-wee. How much time we got? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Okay. So me and Anton actually went to high school together. And ninth grade, we had a class together. I think I sat like behind him or something. And so he, asked me for my phone number. I gave it to him.
Wait a minute. Wait. Don't skip over this.
What?
So, how long were y'all in the same class before he asked for the number? Was the first day of class? Had y'all built up
I think it was so long ago. I think it was the first day of class, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, snap!
I'm almost certain it was the first day of class. Yeah.
Oh, snap! So the first day of class, he was like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
So he asked for your number. You didn't ask for his number.
No.
Okay.
No. He asked for my number. Definitely asked for my number. Okay. And so he called me, I think, that night, and we was talking on the phone just regularly, maybe 10 minutes into the conversation. This disrespectful man says, I don't know if I can say this on here, so I'll try to like say it without saying it. He says, so do you give oral? But he actually said the word. So I'm like, wait, what did you say? I don't think I heard you correctly. Can you repeat yourself? So he repeated him, girl, yes. So he repeated himself, and I said, okay. So I just hung up. So him being, girl, no. So him being the arrogant person that he is, he calls me back and says, I think your phone got disconnected. I said,
Oh my God.
no, I hung up on
He
you
was
on
like, oh,
purpose.
it must be the same.
Right? He like, it's no way she hung up on me. I'm like, no, I actually hung up. I pushed the
Oh
button
my
and hung
God.
up.
I can't. Okay.
So I said, yeah, I hung up. I said, you are very rude and disrespectful. He was like, I'm just wondering. So again, I hung up. So that was ninth grade. I didn't talk to him anymore until 11th grade. We had that whole class together. Never talked.
Was that
Anything.
awkward?
No, I ain't care nothing about him. I wasn't thinking about him because you was disrespectful.
Right.
So
Well, for him to say that, that means it worked on some chicks.
exactly, he
You
was
know what
used.
I'm
He was
saying?
used to like hood rats and
Yeah, that
just
you
all
saying
kind of
no
girls.
probably intrigued him. Like, oh, hold
That's
on. I
so
like
that's what he says now. Now that we've had the conversation, he like, I knew you was different because you ain't far from my normal foolishness like the rest of the girls. So I think at the end of 11th grade, I don't know how we in. Oh, so my best friend was dating his best friend. And
Okay.
so she said, hey, now I didn't know, like I said, I hadn't talked to him in 2 years. So I didn't like know who his friends or whatever was. So she said, hey, I'm going over, my boyfriend's house today. You want to come with? I'm like, oh yeah, sure. So when she called her boyfriend, he said, I'm not at home. I'm over my boy's house. So she like, okay, give me the address. I'll be over there.
And then
His boy was Anton. So he was at Anton's house. I was like, oh no. Right.
Anton, when you got there, Anton was waiting like this.
So we pull up to the house again. I had never been to his house, didn't know where he lived. So I'm like, okay, So we get out, we go to the door. He came to the door. I said, it's no freaking way this is your house. No way. No way possible this is your house. So, of course.
In Detroit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, that was in Detroit.
Okay.
So, of course, it was awkward because I'm still mad. Like, why am I here? Like, I don't want to talk to you. Like,
Yeah.
So, of course, after a while, we ended up just like, laughing and talking and stuff. But it was still never like, we didn't date in high school. So that was that. So then we both graduated, went away to college. And I was in my second year, I think, of college. And I was just like, randomly just thought about him one day. Like, I wonder how's Anton doing? And he had the easiest phone number ever. He don't have it no more, so I can say it. It was 3456758. Like the easiest number ever. Just right in numerical order.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna call him, see how he doing. So I called him and his mother answered the phone and was like, he's not here, but can I take your number, to have him call you back? So I'm like, okay, sure. So he called me back like that night or whatever. And of course, he tried to act like he wasn't, but he was. He was.
He was happy as hell when he got that message. Okay.
He was. So we just became like best friends instantly. Like he was talking to somebody else, I was talking to somebody else. So it was just like, we was just like friends. And he would tell me, about all of these dumb girls that he was dealing with and all of the stuff that he was putting them through. I'm like, that's just too much. I can't be bothered with you. And I don't know, just we never even like officially said, we together. It just like kind of just meshed together and it just kind of happened. And then next thing you know, we was getting married.
Okay, so there was never a time that he was like, you're my girl starting now.
Nope. Never, ever. That never happened. Like when we started back talking, like I said, he was talking to somebody and I was talking to somebody, but mine wasn't like serious because like I was still a virgin. So nobody was really checking for me like that. Like nobody really wanted to do, had nothing to do with me. because I wasn't giving it up. So they was like, "Oh yeah, that's nice. That's my girl." But yeah, it was just like it was never a thing where we said that. We just started hanging out every day, been on the phone every day, seeing each other every day, and it was just like, okay, this is it. Like this is our thing.
So how did he ask you to marry him?
He actually asked me to marry him with a diamond tennis bracelet first. And I was like,
This bracelet.
mm-hmm. Yep. I was like,
So how old were y'all at this point?
we were 21 at that point.
Okay.
Actually, it was my, because when I caught him when I was, I think, like 20. Yeah. And so it had been like, I would say like a year.
So a
Yeah,
year goes
something like
by and
that.
then he asked you to marry him with the bracelet.
Yes. And so
Okay.
I'm like, boy, you ain't for real. Like,
Right.
I take the bracelet though, but we
Right.
too
Like,
young.
but
I take the bracelet, but we too young to be getting married. Like I don't know. Like I just wasn't in that space, or at least I thought I wasn't in that space because I don't know. I just never thought about getting married. That just wasn't like a thing of mine. And then I would say little, was it a year? About a year, maybe a year, he asked me with the ring. I was like, oh, he's serious. So I said
right.
yes. And here we are 17 years later.
Wow. So what? So as a woman, what is the deciding factor when you're gonna say yes to be this man's wife? Like, what made you be like, all right, like I'm going to, like, this is the man I need to marry?
Because
What do we need to be looking for that we're supposed to feel, think about? Like,
you know what? Honestly, I don't know. Like, I think that you'll just know. I think the fact that
you always say that, but is that really how it goes?
that's really how it goes. Because I mean, it was nothing like specific. It was just, I mean, like I said, we were best friends, like literally best friends. He started out telling me about all of the girls he was with and everything. Like I was just like, his best friend. And we was together every day, we talked every day, and I'm like, why not get married? Like we already doing everything. I mean, you know what I'm saying? At that point, we was already doing everything that married people did, so why not? Like, and I mean, for me also, he always have been like the working type. Like ever since I got back in contact with him, he had two jobs at the age of what, like I said, maybe 19, 20. When I got back in touch with him, he had two jobs. So, maybe that helped because I knew he was a hard worker. But honestly, I just feel like I think you'll just know when it's
and that's
the
so
one.
funny to say that because I hear that so commonly.
Yeah.
And then it starts to become a cliche, and then you're like, oh, please, that's not. But I hear married people like that's the common that you just know.
Yeah.
That, yeah, there isn't necessarily, a certain ping that goes out. It's just a certain feeling.
Yeah.
So you were a virgin when you got married? Or you let me get a little sample? So you was like, hold on, let me sample right quick. So, okay, so your husband is the only man you've ever been with?
Yes.
Wow. That's why I said, y'all, I said, us harlots and Jezebels.
Not the harlots, no.
I said, well, that's what I meant, because I had heard that he had mentioned that in another video, and I was like, damn. And that's why I told y'all ladies, I said, we're going to listen to the story. Now, us harlots probably cannot relate to a lot of it, but we going to still listen.
You are crazy.
For a lot of, us harlots and Jezebels out here, but...
Stop saying that. Stop saying that.
So, okay, so what is your family background? So were your parents together, married? Like how did you kind of make that decision to kind of move that way?
So no, my mother and my father were not married. My mother was she was a single mom. I didn't meet my dad until I was 12, I think, like
Wow.
11, 12, yeah.
So
And even
no man in the home at all.
I mean, my uncle, but it wasn't like no father. My father wasn't there.
Okay.
Nope.
So how did you overcome that? Like, where did you get this strong mindset from where you wasn't falling for the okie doke, you wasn't out here thotting and bopping like, because clearly it's an intentional thing. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it
If a
was.
woman wants to do that, she has plenty of opportunity to do that. Like, clearly you intentionally chose not to do that. Like,
Yeah.
how can girls overcome, even if they don't have a father figure, or even if they don't come from a completed home? Like, what mindset, like what do she need to think about to not fall into that trap and kind of stay strong in the way that you did?
I mean, like you said, you have to be intentional. It has to be, what you want to do. You have to put your mind to it. And I feel like in my situation, mom, if you're watching, don't kill me. No slight to you. I love you, love you, love you. But like my mom, when she met my dad, she was a virgin and like he was her first. And she got pregnant the first time at the age of
God.
20.
Oh
And
God.
so just hearing that story, I just equated sex to kids. And so I'm like, well, I'm not having sex because I'm not trying to have no kids. So I was like, I'm gonna just sit this one out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, it's just like you said about being intentional and really just, putting your mind to it and not, wanting to, if you don't want to do something, then you don't have to do it. You can easily just put your mind to it and say, hey, I'm not doing this. I'm not going down this path. I'm not going this way. And don't do it. And that was just my thing. Like, I'm like, okay, so when you have sex, you get pregnant. That's not what I'm trying to do. So, no.
Okay. So now that it's all said and done, now that you've seen the way you move, I'm sure you have other examples of women in your life and seeing different decisions women made.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell your daughter? What would you tell other girls her age? What advice would you give them? Would you give them the advice to do it the way you did it? Would you give them the advice to do it another way? Like, now that you've seen how it all panned out, what would you tell the girls?
I would definitely say do it the way that I did it because I feel like when you get married young, you're still getting to know the person that you married, and y'all can also grow together.
Mm,
It's not just about, when he come, he are, if you, and not saying that you can't get married older, because I mean, people do and be successful all the time. I'm just speaking from my own personal experience. Y'all grow together, and so it's like you don't have to worry about when he come to you, he already, set in his ways, and he already, feel like this or that. It's like y'all get to grow together and y'all kind of mesh, and you kind of, like, I don't want to say train or mold, but it's like y'all kind of mold each other into the person that you want them to be, into, what you need them to be for you.
okay. So you don't feel like you missed something or missed out. Because that's what I hear women say. They say, oh, you want to do it because you don't want to get older and feel like you missed out. You don't feel like you missed anything.
I don't feel like I missed anything because, like I mean, we've done everything together. Anything that I've wanted to do, I've done it. I did it with him. I travel. I, do everything. Like, it's no shortage on what I can do. Like, yeah, I don't feel like I missed anything. Missed
So
probably some headache and heartache. Probably that's about it.
it ain't. These streets are treacherous.
So I've heard.
They treacherous AF. So do you feel like Anton's family was involved in helping you guys kind of have standards and guide through, since your family wasn't necessarily on the same dynamics?
Mm-hmm. Yep, because Anton's parents were married. His father unfortunately passed away a few years ago, but they were married for almost 40 years.
Mm.
And then like all of his aunts and uncles, they've been married for, 20, 30 years. So, he's always had that, as an example. Now, even though my mom wasn't married, like my aunts and uncles, were married, and they've been married for long, long periods of time too. So I have seen that. So I feel like both of our family structures you know, kind of helped shape us into, who we are.
So do you feel like without those people in the family structure that you would have been able to have a marriage long lasting and successful?
I think so because I feel like that once you get married, you have those people as examples, but once you're married, it's just y'all two. Like it's just you and him. So whatever y'all decide, that's what's gonna, you know what I'm saying, mold and make it out to be what it is. Not, what his parents is doing or what his aunts or my mom is doing. It's about what we decide and what we feel, decide to do in this thing.
Mm. So what do you think is the balance between, because sometimes people say, you're marrying that person, you're not marrying their family. What do you feel is the balance in between how much the family is involved and how much it comes down to just being you and him? Like, where does the line get crossed in between doing what's best to try to please the family or accommodate or invite their opinion, and when is it okay, no, now this is just, forget what they say, this is just you and I? Like, how important do you think the family being on the same page is when you're marrying somebody?
Um, Honestly, I don't think that it matters
Really?
because again, it's you and him. Like whatever happens is between you and him. And that's where I feel like a lot of people go wrong is that they involve their family and
Mm-hmm.
then it becomes a family marriage. And that's not it. That's not what the Bible said. It's between you and him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, his mama and your mama. And no, it's you and him. So whatever decisions y'all gonna make is you and him. Whatever arguments y'all have and when y'all make up is you and him. People go wrong when they include a family because, then people try to act like, oh, I'm not gonna treat him no different, girl. Tell me what happened. And then you tell them,
Mm-hmm.
and then you and him make up tomorrow because it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't nothing anyway. But then your sister still giving him the side eye every time she see him
Mm-hmm.
because he said
Mm-hmm.
this to you, and it's like that ain't none of their business. Like nobody should know what's going on in your marriage. Now, if you decide to seek some counseling or something from your pastor or therapist or something, that's different. But as far as family goes, keep them out your business because
Okay.
everybody got something to say. While they laying at home next to their husband who just slapped them, they telling you to leave yours. So, so everybody mind their business. I'm telling the truth,
I know that was laugh because we all know that one chick
right?
that be beating her ass and running around doing the most, and she tell everybody else to leave it, and she gonna
Got
stop
advice for
doing
everybody
everybody.
else.
No, don't lose me, boo. Okay, so you saying is you two and the family need to listen. They need to respect. So it's up to the. It sounds like what you're saying is it's up to the two of you to
Yes,
demand that level of respect from the family. So with
exactly.
y'all families, do y'all kind of have it set up where they already know, like that's them
So
now?
honestly, like my mother, she's not that kind of person, and neither is his mother. So we've never even,
Okay.
had those type of problems. Like neither of our families is like that. Like so that's never even really been a issue. Now,
Okay.
I mean, like I might be on the phone with my mom and I might say, "Girl, Anton left his socks on the floor." Like, I mean, what I'm saying? Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, like little funny stuff, but nothing like I mean, because nobody needs to know what y'all got going on but you and him.
So you
Because
recommend like professional like marriage counselors when you have issues, not family.
yes,
Okay.
yep,
Do you feel like that has been a key factor in keeping your marriage going for so long?
mm-hmm,
Okay.
definitely.
So on
Because
a scale from 1 to 10, how important is that? 10 being the most important. 10 being
10,
very important. 10.
12, 12,
Wow. Hell.
12. Because you
Oh,
know
write
what?
a notebook. I need to write
Because
down.
I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen, and I've seen it ruin marriages.
12.
Yeah, that's
Are
a
y'all
12.
writing this stuff down or just me?
That's definitely a 12.
No, that's
I mean, but that goes for not just family, it goes for your friends too. Like your best friend, it goes for all of them. Like
okay.
nobody needs to be in your bedroom but you and your man or your
Okay.
husband.
Okay. So let me ask you this. What is the so Anton don't mind letting people know, like, yeah, I run my household. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
he ain't
no.
got no problem letting people know. Yeah, in my household is dictatorship. So what do you feel as the wife's role when you have a husband who tends to be more of the take charge type of guy like that?
Yeah.
How do you move as a woman where I understand you told us like we need to pick and choose our battles, but when it does come to time where you want to seriously veto something, where something is happening that you really feel strongly about,
Yeah.
how do you maneuver that where it is a time where you're like, okay, normally I wouldn't care, but okay, in this instance, like I'm not having it. Like, how do you move that way when you have a man who is more so in charge?
Again, it just comes down to having the conversation. And a lot of most, well, I won't say most times. A lot of times, it's just having a conversation, and then he'll be like, "Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, let's move that way." Or because I mean, we're so in sync and on one accord that most times we be thinking the same thing anyway. But there has been times where it's like, no, we're going to do it this way. And I mean, you just have to be adamant about it. You just have to, stand for it and actually just let him know, like, hey, this is what's happening. Like, this is what's going down.
Okay. So do you feel like the way, because see, sometimes people tend to paint men like that as these monsters. It's like what I say goes, and they like
No,
have
that's
to.
not.
So you're saying
That's
that
not how he
that's not
is.
how it really, because a lot of women say that. They say men that do their thing and get married and are successful. They say that they're going to be abusive and they're not going to listen to anything you say. And
What?
I'm serious.
No,
Like, the whole point of this show is to really talk about how it really looks. Like, that is what they tell us. They tell us they're going to do whatever you
no.
want. I'm not going to care.
That is that's not how it is. Anton is not abusive at all. He doesn't just say this is how it's going to be and you shut up. No, that's not how it is. I mean, I trust him enough to make the right decisions, but at the same time, if it's something, like of course certain things is just like okay, whatever, it's not that deep. But like you said, there are times where there are things and I'm like, okay, no, let's talk about it, let's talk through it. He say, why he think we should do it his way. I say, well, I think we should do it my way, and we come to an agreement on how it's gonna be. Like, it's not just him saying this is it and you shut up. No, it's not like that. It's not
Okay.
like that at all.
That's what they tell us. They be like, oh, he gonna do whatever he gonna do. He's not gonna care. And I've always felt like that was kind of extreme. I'm like, I don't think that guys are doing that like that in real life.
No, not in real life.
But what you're saying is at the same time, and just reading your energy, I'm pretty sure that you're not going to him like, oh hell no, this is what we gonna
No, no, not at
do. You know
all.
what I'm saying?
Not at all.
I can kind of see in just your energy that it's probably just coming to him with respect, and you're saying that they normally will return the respect.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. I like this.
I mean, but that came, of course, that came with a little time, though. I wasn't always like this. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. So at what point did you have an epiphany in your marriage where you were like, all right, I'm tripping. Let me move a little bit different. Did you have or did you see that methods you were using were not working? Like, what happened where you said, you know what? All right, I need to, do some self-reflecting and move a little different than how I'm doing. Like,
I just saw that what I was doing wasn't working. Like all of the yelling and the snatching dreams and all of this. Nobody wants to hear that. I don't even want to hear it. So I know he don't. Like, I don't want to see nobody talking to me like that because it's going to make me very angry. So I feel like, okay, if I don't want nobody talking to me like that, then why would I speak to anybody else like that? I mean, it's just, it's just the same thing. And so that wasn't working. So I'm like, okay, let's try a different approach. Let's, give him his time to Have a second, calm down, breathe through. Give me a second to calm down, breathe through it. Because then once you calm down and you actually are thinking clearly, 9 times out of 10, whatever y'all was arguing about, it's not even that big of a deal. And you like, oh, my bad. If I had said it differently, then, maybe you wouldn't have got so, angry or, I mean, it's just all in, to me, you can say anything. It's all in how you say it.
Okay. So, do you feel like you went through a transition where you were operating more in your masculine energy with him, and then you kind of had an epiphany and began to kind of move deeper in your feminine energy? Or do you feel like you were pretty steady in your feminine energy the whole time?
I think in the beginning it was more like masculine energy, and I had to like, shift into that feminine energy because I mean, I didn't know any better. Like I said, I got married when I was 22 years old. Like
Right, right,
we was, learning together. I didn't
right.
know anything about, being submissive or, talking a certain way. Like that's just how I was used to talking because that's how I talk to my friends and that's how, I talk to everybody. So it was like, oh, this how I'm gonna talk to him too. Then it's like, okay, he ain't trying to hear that.
Mm-hmm. So you feel like moving more into your feminine energy led to things being more at peace and at ease in your marriage.
Definitely.
Okay. Because,
Definitely.
I always have felt like that is a humongous component in it. When you're talking about marriage for the long run, you have to be able to meet each other with that yin and that yang. And
Yeah.
so then the women try to say, oh, well, that's not going to guarantee anything. And I'm like, well, not being in your feminine energy is going to guarantee something. And that is
Definitely.
arguing, head-butting, issues, and
Yep.
stress. So, okay, if you're in your feminine energy, will it guarantee things be perfect and butterflies? No.
No.
But not being in it does give you a 100% guarantee. At least if you fall into your feminine energy, you are at least aligning yourself and giving the situation what it needs to potentially get the outcome you want. But if you're just
Yep.
constantly moving in your masculine energy, that's when you're getting something guaranteed, which is to hit a wall with your man, especially if you're
Yep.
more his masculine energy. Because you
Yep.
meet him with that masculine energy too, he looking at you like, I can do
Exactly.
this all day. You gonna get tired before me. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Exactly. And a lot of times too, we can be right, but if you got the wrong tone and you saying it wrong and you coming at them wrong, then none of that even matters.
Mm-hmm. So I see that you're very slim and trim. So have you always been slim? Are you just like naturally slim, or do you have to like work at keeping?
So yeah, I have always been slim, but
Okay.
I do work at it too though. I don't eat beef and pork. I gave that up some many moons ago. I monitor what I eat. I go to the gym. I don't drink, a lot of juice and pop, mainly just water. Yeah, just
So how important do you think it is for you to stay in shape as a married woman? Because I've always felt like it's kind of messed up to like when he marries you, like you're slim and in shape, looking good, and then when he lock in with you, then you just be like,
then you
well,
just
gotcha now. You
right.
know what I'm saying? Got him. Yeah, and then you
Yeah.
just start looking however, like I see you always keep your hair done, you stay in shape. Like, is that intentional? Like, how important do you feel like that is as being a wife?
I think that's very important. So just me as a person, like even before I got married, my hair and my nails have always been like my signature thing. So that's just like a given. Like that has to be done.
Right.
But I also agree with you in what you said that you have to keep up, what he married. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can't just give up just because like, oh, I got him now, because if he do that, you're not gonna be happy about it, so then you shouldn't do it either. And I think that just looking good, to me, it just makes you feel good, like your overall just attitude and everything just be good when you look good. So I mean, I think that you should do it for yourself, but for him also.
So, do you feel oppressed when you look good for your husband?
No, I don't. I
I'm only
feel
asking you
I
because
feel
I
lovely
haven't
when I
met
look
you.
good for my husband, because then he tells me how good I look, and I'm like, oh, okay, okay. I mean, just like that's not oppressed. No,
Did you die?
you said did I die?
I see you're still alive
Right.
after doing all of this. So, and I know the answer to the question. I'm just asking you to be facetious because these are the things the women say to me, like, "Oh, I gotta look good. I gotta be worried about if my husband think I look good. He should think I look good no matter what." And I'm like, "What's wrong with saying, yeah, I want to look good. I want my husband to compliment me." So many
Right.
women will get so triggered by that. So that's the only reason why I'm being funny, asking, like, do you feel oppressed? Did you
No,
die? Because the way
not
some
at
people
all.
talk is as though it's like if they say, I want to look good for my man, they're going to just pass out and just fall on the ground. I personally think it's adorable how he fawns over you. I saw the video y'all did a few days ago. He was like, you dressing real promiscuous lately with the legs. I was dying. I said, don't be mad because sis look good. Because sis out here looking good. Now you over here trying my heart out. So what do you think is, because I've gotten checked like this before to the point where sometimes I got to do a whole let me see what you finna wear. So what is the borderline between us wearing what we want to wear and if your man, like Anton was, by the way, before y'all to go there, he was
He
joking.
was
I
joking.
know
Yes, he was
y'all
joking.
cannot wait to be like, oh my God,
Right.
tell her what she thinking.
He was joking.
He was joking because it was just her legs was sexy looking out. So, but before y'all run with that, he was kidding. But on a serious note, what do you think is okay in between your man saying, all right, now that is a little like, what's the balance between how far is too far, and do you think it's appropriate where if your man does say, hey, this make me a little uncomfortable, that you change? Because I saw a video recently that went viral and it was talking about that, and it was like, oh, if your man tell you to change, he insecure and you're a clown and you're a pick me if you do it. But what do you feel like, what do you feel is a good kind of balance in that on how that would go?
Um, I'm gonna go from my from just my relationship. I feel like if he says something, he don't want me to wear it, then I'm not gonna wear it. Like, what's the big deal? I mean, like I trust him enough to, you know, just roll with what he say. Like, and the fact that he's also a man, and so he knows how other men think. So it could be, to me, like, oh, just my legs are showing, or anything. But because he's a man, he know how another man might look at me or might take that, and it's just like, okay, it's not that deep. Like, I have so many clothes. I can surely go find something else that's just as cute
Right.
and that keeps us in a good place in our relationship. Like, it's not worth, having no argument about some clothes.
So again, it looks like you didn't die.
Huh?
So again, it looks like you didn't die.
Exactly. I'm still here.
I'm just I'm sorry, the proof being the pudding. I'm telling you. So do you feel like marriage has to be complicated, or do you feel like marriage can be simple and kind of flow? How do you feel
It,
about that?
oh yeah, it definitely can be simple and just flow. Cause I mean, like, now I can't even remember the last time we argued or had a disagreement or anything. It's just like we just flow so well together. Everything is just like so smoothly. But again, it's all in how you take it. And I feel like so many women these days have to prove that they're right and they get the last word and all of that kind of stuff. And that doesn't even matter. All of that stuff is not even important.
Okay, so Eugene asked a question on super chat. He says, oh, where'd it go? He says, Miss Daniels, there was a song called Cater to You that some genetically modified females. What? I've never heard that one.
Somewhat model
Genetically modified females or modern women want to cancel. Do you somewhat model your part of your relationship after that song. Talking about the Destiny's Child.
What song is it? I don't know
Destiny's
that song. I
Child,
don't think.
cater to you. Let me cater to you. Cause baby, this is your day. Do anything for my man.
Oh yeah, I do. So I don't know the. I mean, like I can't like recall all the words off the top of my head like that. But I mean, if I had to just go off the title, then I would say yes.
Okay, so they was having a fit. They said they was trying to cancel the song because they said it's oppression.
Why? It's what?
They said it's oppression.
Here we go.
I'm telling you, and it sounds crazy, but that is literally how it goes. Like now, I don't know how to remove this. Hold on. So okay, so what does everyday life look like? Like what is the realistic? If you have a husband that is an entrepreneur or works a lot and stuff like that, what do you think is realistic when it comes to everyday life? Like how is it a lot of time spent together? Is it a lot of work that you have to do? Um, what does it look like? Because I feel like in our minds, we think that it's supposed to be like, flowers every single day, and you wake up and you piss unicorn tears and
No.
like, how as women do you balance your everyday life and having a man that's kind of, doing things? Like,
So there's definitely a lot of work to it, and what people don't see is that 9 times out of 10, the wives are behind the scenes and what's keeping the scenes running. So like I do everything. Like I'm in charge of his calendar. I make sure all of his doctor's appointments, are scheduled, that he, get to him, that all of his time is, allocated for where he's supposed to be. He on this call at this time. He got this meeting at this time. I make sure, he's eating right, that he make time to go to the gym. I do all of the household stuff as far as washing the clothes, cleaning up, cooking, all of that kind of stuff. And when we first got married, we waited like 4 years before we had our daughter, but we also sat down and had the conversation. If we have a child, I want to stay home and, raise this child. I don't want to have to go send her to daycare and all of that. So I haven't worked in about 12, 13 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I'm the man behind the scenes. Like a lot of the businesses and stuff that he has, I run a lot of those. When we had the restaurant, I ran the restaurant. So I mean, like I feel like I work just as just as much as he does.
Right. So do you feel oppressed being his support and his helpmate?
No, not at all. Because I mean, like
You
I'm
have went back and did your own thing, or if you could do it all over again, would you still have been a helpmate to your husband?
definitely would have, because not only am I a helpmeet to him, I'm also, raising the type of daughter and woman that I want her to be. Like nobody else is raising her. I'm here for everything that she does. And I mean, now I'm in school. Like I just started nursing school, but
I
I
heard
would,
that.
yeah.
I heard that you were like, I'm bored. Think I'll go to nursing school.
Well, it's something that I've always wanted to do. I just never like really had the time to do it. So now that I have some time, I'm like, yeah, like why not? So yeah, that's what I'm doing now. But yeah, like I would definitely do it all over again the exact same way, because I mean, like I want to reap the benefits of all of his work. And so all of the shopping I do and the traveling and all of that kind of stuff, like somebody got to work. So why not be the help me, what I'm saying, to get him to the successes that he need. Like, I'm talking to people's wives and getting him meetings and, doing a lot of networking and everything.
So tell us about that. Now, what's the formula? What's the formula for that? So you have a man, he has a certain niche that he's in or work he do, and you go to functions. Like, how do you bring value and kind of parlay with the wives and?
I mean, like you don't just go in and be like, okay, I'm gonna get him some business today. I mean, it's just like you just be yourself. Like, just be yourself. have conversations, meet with them. Y'all go out and have coffee. You might go out to lunch. Like they become your friends, and then that turns into, business meetings and business moves and all of that. It's no set formula. Just be yourself. But at the same time, you can't be yourself with a bonnet on, though.
So you're anti-bonnets.
I'm anti. Yes, definitely, definitely.
I am also anti-bonnet. Do you wear a bonnet when you go to sleep?
Sometimes it depends on how my hair is.
So if you just got your hair laid for the gods, you might put a bonnet on.
Yes.
So how does Anton feel about that? Do he be like, why do you have on this bonnet? Or after 17 years, he like, child, boo.
He don't care. He don't care. As long as I'm not going outside with it, he don't care.
Right. Muhammad said he's donating to my mic funds. Y'all, I could have done this mic thing. I have somebody coming next month that's gonna set it up for me. Y'all know I am technology retarded. I don't know how to do that. and I have anxiety. Okay. I have tried to do the mic thing. I get anxiety attack immediately. I don't know how to do that. Somebody is coming next month and he is going to come set all this up and we will be good then. So unless y'all don't give me the money for the mic, because I'm still not buying, I'm still not picking it out, I'm still not buying it, and I'm still not setting it up. So unless one of y'all gonna come set it up and bring it in here, I don't want to hear y'all mouth because I'm not doing it. I get anxiety. Okay, so y'all gonna just get this work and y'all will be all right. Danica Marie, I'm so glad you're here. We're having our discussion on my wife archetype series, and you're gonna be one of my wife archetypes, by the way. I meant to tell you about that. See, I just put you on the
She said I meant to tell you.
I meant to tell you. I'll be having you featuring you as well. But see, you can do that with your sister. It's like, hey, sis, I need you.
Right, of course. And we gonna come through.
I pulled up. Okay, this is how sister will work. I'm like, sis, I need to pick your brain. And sis was like, say less.
Yep.
So no bonnets outside. Someone say you look like Chrissy Lampkin. Have you heard that before?
Yeah, somebody else told me that. I've heard that actually a few times before. I think it's just the mole, because I don't really think I look like her. I think it's just the mole.
I think it's the complexion. No, I see it.
Really?
Yeah, I see it. Oh, thank you, Kenya. I sent us $50. All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all gonna stop hating on my microphone. Thank you, MIG. He says, shout out to Miss Daniels and 6. Please continue teaching these genetically modified women how to be organic women.
That's funny. I've never heard that before.
I haven't either, but I think that is so funny to me. So, okay. So you're saying, so basically what you're saying is, when you go to these business meetings and stuff, don't just sit there in a corner like this. You're saying that you want to talk to people,
yes, show definitely.
Your personality, talk to other women.
Definitely. Yeah. You want to get out there. You want to put yourself out there. Just have a good time, be yourself. But yeah, you definitely can't just sit in the corner and expect it to come to you or fall in your lap. You have to put in some kind of work.
Okay. So now this is, I'm going to wrap up here, but this is a question I have, because this is why I really wanted to have you on here. So your story on how you became married is unconventional. Okay.
Okay.
There are so many aspects in the story where so many women that I know present day would have been like, So what do you say to women who feel like, I know you mentioned, you want to build with a man. I've always felt like building with a man may not mean that you literally picking up a hammer and nails. Normally, right. What it can mean is you are being support to the man and not being a hindrance to the man. And
definitely.
Make it easier for the man to build.
Yes, definitely make it easier.
Right.
Yep.
So the man builds, and so many women, I feel where they go wrong is they become a hindrance in the man building, and that's why the man tends to buck back. So what would you say to the women who say a woman is a pick-me if she says that she is willing to build and kind of grow with her man?
I mean, honest. So all the people that are saying that, since you're not doing that, is what you doing, is that working for you? Is that working? Is it working, or are you still single? So
Wow.
so I think, here's the thing. People need to or I'll say women. Women need to stay off of social media so much.
My
Look at
edges.
you. Look at you.
I feel like you should have just dropped the mic and just walked off after you said that. You chose violence today.
I should have had it. I should have had one of Anton's hoodies to put on, right? Like he do when he on his shows when he choose violence. I should have had a hoodie.
Sis, you woke up and chose immediate violence. Well, I just
It's
lost my
true.
edges. Okay, so now elaborate on that.
It's true though. I just feel like, if what you're doing is not working, why not try something else? Why not try what somebody else is doing? Why not try to build with a man? Why not humble yourself and see if that works for you? Because what you're doing clearly is not working. But I also think that women need to stay off of social media and stop looking at, what everybody else is doing and all of these celebrities that's saying, you don't need a man and you can do this by yourself and all of that kind of stuff. Like, no, like we were not meant to be alone. Like we need men. Like we need men. Like that's just it. I mean, it's just that's just how it goes. Like it is what it is. But I just feel like that in this day and age, women really need to humble themselves and stop trying to be the man and let the man be the man.
And so then when you make up the decision in your mind to do that, I feel like you attract a man who will be a man. I think
Definitely.
if you're so busy being
Yep.
in the masculine mindset, I think that makes women attract feminine men.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I
Women
agree.
that think like that, their next thing out their mouth is, "Well, he got to be a man." Well, how you gonna
Ha-
attract a man and you a whole nigga?
it-
You know what I'm saying? Like, you might
Yeah.
need to be more of a woman. Like that way, you can attract a man who can be a man and you can be a woman.
Yep. 100% agree.
I agree, my sister, and this is why this conversation was so valuable. Like, you dropped some gems on us, and I'm just over here with snatch edges. If I had a wig, it would be crooked right now. Like, my ponytail almost fell off during this conversation. Um, but I feel like for sisters like yourself, because it's one thing to be married, and it's
Mhm.
one thing to be married for 17 years.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree.
So, again, the proof is in the pudding. I feel like so many sisters are not vocal enough. Like, talk to us. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, we respect what you have to say, again, because you have the resume behind it, you have the portfolio behind it. I wanted you to come on here so the women could see a chocolate sister that is in shape, that's feminine, that takes care of herself, that is married, has been married, is happily married, is a helpmate to her husband, and she still was able to do the things she wanted to do. You had to kickstart things with you and your husband, get your daughter birthed. Now she's older, and
Yep.
you were still able to
Yep.
do the things you wanted to do. But now it's not, I gotta study for my exams, I gotta get this job and finish school and make
Right. Right.
now it's like, bored, think I'll go to nursing school. So I wanted the ladies to see we get very stuck in this negative mindset. It's possible, ladies. And we see it right here. And these are the type of conversations I want to have so we can start to reshape this reality and reshape not the reality, but reshape the facade and reshape it into reality, that there is a way it can work. It doesn't have to be abusive and controlling. It doesn't have to be that you're miserable and you're oppressed. And it can be that when you just handle your business as a woman, that it can lead to peace. and it does not have to be complicated, and you can be happy. You know, so I want to thank you for coming on here and talking to us. I think it was very healthy for the ladies to see you. I think that you're incredible.
Thank you.
I think that you need to be popping out more and like sharing more, because how many women can say the things that you can say? Like, so I feel like when you're a rarity and you're a gem, unfortunately, it kind of puts a calling on you, even if you weren't asking for it.
Yeah.
Because although you are very feminine, I also get a don't fuck with you vibe. Like, I get a very sweet vibe, but I also get a this might not be the one. You might want to find you something safe to do at the same time. So I don't know if maybe you kind of chill because you'd be like, I ain't got time for bullshit. But I would like to see you kind of pop out more and just share more, because the rest of us harlots can't say it. We need
Stop saying that.
the rest of us harlots and Jezebels can't say that. We need the good sisters to come forward and just so that the younger girls can see that you did it. You did it without needing a father to guide it and all that. Like, you can make these decisions for yourself as a woman. So we would like to see you, you know, pop out more, because I think you're just such a good example. But I just feel even in this build right here, you know, we got a lot accomplished, and I think it's going to be good for the ladies to kind of witness this conversation. So is there anything else you want to say to us before anything you got going on? Is there any last words of advice or things you want to share with us?
I would just say to all of the women, just be more open to advice. You know, be more open to hear things, be more open to hear things that may not necessarily align with what you previously thought. Just be more open to it. You know, like it's nothing wrong with changing. You could be 40, 50 years old and still learn something new, still change. It's never too late. So that's my advice. Just be open to, because I feel like that a lot of times that's the problem. You know, people have been thinking this way or feeling this way about this thing for so long. It's just like, well, that's just how it is. Yeah, but I mean, somebody else might know a little something, have a little more advice or a little more wisdom on it that you can, maybe take something from. You might not necessarily agree 100%, but take what you can from it.
I love that. I love that. That's big facts. I know I have been working on exercising that in my personal life as well, and I think it would be good for sisters to follow that advice. Well, thank you, Miss Daniels.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
I know. I'm so glad you came on. I was like, oh my gosh, she's going to come on here. I'm like, what am I going to say? What do I need to do?
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, because I mean, I'm not used to being in the spotlight. So I'm like, Anton is like, calm down. Just calm down.
I know, because I'm like, so I do have one more question. So like I said, you do give me the vibe that you're not with the bullshit. What do you think is like, when in your wife life is it time for you to kind of step up? Like, let's say it's a woman that's trying your man. Like, when do you think is the time where you got to say something, and when do you just kind of let things plan out? Like, what's the balance in between kind of being your feminine, but also letting bitches know, like, find you someone else to play with? I don't know how to say that nicer.
I don't know, because I feel like Anton handles it like pretty well. Okay. I mean, I guess the only time I feel like I would but I mean, again, I don't even think I would have to say anything. I was gonna say maybe if somebody was to maybe like touch him or something, but Anton,
pause on somebody.
Like Anton, I feel like he would handle it before I could even say something. So, like, I don't know a time. I mean, I don't know, because he handles it well. Me, have I ever? No, that's not my thing.
So you don't think we gotta ever go hands in wife's life?
No, you don't got to do all of that, because I feel like if somebody says something to your man, then he should did that. Like, he should cut it off. Like, you shouldn't have to say anything.
Okay, I got you. Well,
yeah, we too classy to be throwing hands and fighting. Yeah, we're not doing that.
Darling. We don't have time for that. To
We
break
don't
us
have
down, we
time.
can't be doing all that.
Definitely cannot.
Well, thank you so much, my dear. You have
Thank
a good
you.
night.
You
And thank you
also.
for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right, my love. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
That was a good build. I mean, I had to ask. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I'm from the hood. Let me know. Do we need to? Are we supposed to be throwing hands? Because y'all know. You can take the girl out of Florida, but you can't take the Florida out the girl. So I was just wondering, like, sis, what we need to do. I'm just wondering, do we need to put this on the assignment? Okay. I just had to make sure because you never know out here in these streets. Sometimes you might have to. Yeah, but that was hella dope. I think that if you're smart, you're gonna listen to what the woman was saying, and we got us. And again, this is a reprogramming. We are reprogramming. You heard what her number one advice was. What for us ladies? To be open, to be humble, okay, to be ready to make changes. All right. So this is why we are doing these streams. We are reprogramming your mindsets out of the no matter what I do, it's not gonna work. Well, I can do all that, and he's still gonna this, and they're gonna beat your ass, and we are going to reprogram ourselves to a reality that you can play your role as a woman happily. You don't have to feel oppressed. You can be in your feminine energy and not be taken advantage of. Okay? You can build with a man, contrary to popular belief. You can build with him. Again, you're supporting a man while he builds. You are on his team. Okay? The importance of staying in shape. 17 years. Ain't went nowhere yet. Okay? Do you see sis out here shaped like upsackable washer and dryer? No. Healthy weight. Okay? I'm not telling y'all gotta be a toothpick. You know what I'm saying? We got some going on. Like we ain't out here looking anorexic, but you got to stay. You got to keep everything where it's supposed to be. Things should not be all out of order. Your body should not be looking like a vending machine. Chips here, cookies here, crackers over here. Some of y'all got vending machine bodies. It's just stuff everywhere. Looking good, keeping yourself together, keeping your hair done, nails done. All right. Not thotting and bopping, having a good personality. Come on, the proof is in the pudding. So these conversations are gonna be good. Like I said, our next wife archetype we're gonna have on is gonna be Danica Marie. Again, we are having married women that have different marital stories. So Miss Daniels is the right way. But again, we have to teach her right way to the younger. Like I said, for a lot of these harlots and Jezebels out here, that is dead. That been dead for a long time. That just ain't happening. But that is how it should have been done. That's how it should have been done for most of us. And you marry your husband, and your husband only man you've been with. But like I said, some women, we've been out here like this, doing a YMCA dance, if you know what I mean. So Danica gonna be our next wife archetype of a wife that got married kind of in her mid-20s. Okay. Where, they had dated for some time before they got married, and, the wife archetype where you're in the marriage where you guys did get married later on, but we're still building together. Okay. So we're going from, the high school thing to the mid-20s, and we're going to have different stories going on so that everybody can kind of, take what they can relate to. I want every woman to be able to watch a video in this series and be able to relate to at least one of the archetypes. So Danica, is a whole different vibe, and we're going to have all different wives with all different vibes. Like no two of the wives will be the same. Everyone will have a different kind of archetype going on. I have a few more ladies I'm going to reach out to that I'm going to have come on, and we are going to reshape this reality. Okay. Because the sad part is a lot of the reality that we have in our mind is not even based on reality. That's kind of the irony behind it. Someone said speak on these viral challenges. Like what? Like what? Yeah, we need solutions. That's what I'm saying. Like, I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm not about to sit here and complain and do the most. You know what I'm saying? Like, can we find, real solutions here? Like, let me know. Okay. Help me understand. Um, People they texted me about my mic. Is it sound that bad? I'm gonna get it together, y'all. Oh, I have some cash apps. Oh my God, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. 13 times. He said $130. He said for your dedicated work towards Black relationships. Oh my God, thank you. 13 times. Oh my God. Let me send you a heart back. Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Muhammad. Muhammad, you so petty. Muhammad he sent $10 talking about for 6 new mic fund. Now y'all know I can go get a mic. I have anxiety, guys. A lot of the stuff that you don't see me do is because I have anxiety. I have a severe anxiety. My anxiety is a part of me at this point. I learned how to manage it, but I know my triggers. I know things that overwhelm me, and if I feel overwhelmed, I don't do it. I've been through some things, so I kind of have to do what I need to do. And when I try to do all that, it's just too much for me. So someone is coming to help me, but they won't be here till next month. So I know y'all will be happy once they do. But until then, y'all just going to get this work as you get it. Use headphones. Use headphones that might help y'all. But this person gonna come. I'm just gonna give them my business card and be like, here, buy what we need and have this set up as easy as possible because I just cannot do it. So bear with me, y'all. Okay, I try. This is why I have to live a very, like I cannot overwhelm myself. Sometimes it may take me longer to do things, and I apologize, but I do the best I can. Okay. Thank you, TJ Rand. She said she's a TJ Randolph. She says, I'm a 54-year-old wife who got married at 52. Uh-oh, it went away. Oh no. Hold on, it went away. Yeah, like some people saying they can't hear it, but I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not going and doing all that. I cannot do that. Now, if one of y'all want to come do it for me, I welcome it. But I need someone. You have to come help me. I can't deal with that. I'm not doing all that. I'm overwhelmed just thinking about it. Oh my God, I just saw a comment I wanted to see, but now it won't scroll back up. Oh, there it goes. Hold on. Okay, now I see how to do this easier. Okay, she said, thank you for the super chat 99. She says, I'm a 54-year-old wife who's got married at 52. I spoke to you and Anton on his show last week. Hello. Yeah, and I like what Miss Daniels said, and I agree with this. I have similar sentiments because some people, there's these discussions that go on like, oh, when does a woman hit the wall? And I said, well, a woman hits the wall when she refuses to be feminine, refuses to look good, and has given up on herself. There's not a specific age or life season where a woman hit the wall. As long as you are, like Ms. Anna was saying, willing to be humble, be open, be feminine, take care of yourself, you will never hit the wall. Like she was saying, it's never too late. So y'all ladies, don't let nobody come out here and tell you that, oh, it's too late for you. No, the only time it's too late is when you give up on yourself, ladies. As long as you stay feminine, stay looking good, stay loving yourself, there is no such thing as hitting a wall. Just know that you hit the wall when you refuse to change, refuse to be accountable, and refuse to do better. That's when you hit the wall. Until then, you are not doing that. Thank you, Hey Rude Jr. of Kemet for the cash app of $20. He says, for whatever reason, they won't let me super chat. It's okay. Well, I appreciate you sending the cash app as well, because also with the cash app, is when I'm able to keep everything, because you know YouTube takes a portion of the super chat. But again, ladies, I do not preach on anything that I do not live in real life. You know what I'm saying? Every day, is it easy? No. I think I'm going to do an upload video about how to look good every day, because there is a certain system that you have to follow as a woman to look good every day to keep yourself up. So what I'm starting to learn, like when I hear so many sisters say that act like it's such a difficult thing to look good every day, I'm like, you guys don't have a system that enables you to look good daily. You don't have a system that you have down packed. So we are going to talk about that, okay? Ladies, do not let other people convince you of, oh, it's too late. No, it is not. You will be surprised how much is possible, ladies, when you are willing to look at yourself before pointing fingers at other people. When you are willing to look at yourself before complaining about others and looking at what you attract, looking at the energy that you give out. Feminine women are accountable. You heard what Miss Daniels said. Remember I talked about this before? I said, in your feminine energy, you want to look at how you can do things easy as possible. That feminine women take the elevator, not the steps. And Miss Daniels told you there was a point where she was trying to move in her masculine energy. And she said what? She got tired of it. It wasn't getting results. Then she made a decision like, okay, let me move more in my feminine energy. In your feminine energy, you don't do something unless it's going to accomplish. Feminine energy is not destructive and it's not wasteful. When you're in your feminine energy, your mindset is, okay, if I'm going to exert this energy towards this, what outcome am I looking for? And am I going to get it? And how do I need to interact, or what do I need to do or say to get it, period. You're not fighting and dying standing on hills. We have too many sisters. We're out here dying and standing on these hills. It is unhealthy. It is unnatural. And we're not going to just sit and complain about it. But we are going to sit here and we are going to have these conversations to, again, reshape the real. Let it be known that it is possible. Okay? I don't care if it's 1,000 men that ain't shit and ain't this and that. I'm looking for one. Okay? The rest of them, I'll step over their dead bodies. The more the women look for the eligible men, masculine men, okay, that want to lead, want to provide, that you can be in your divine feminine wit, the more we just kind of put blinders on and focus on those men and those men only, and leave the rest of them out here with the wigs and lies and bullshit, you'll be surprised how that's how you inspire other men to step their game up. But right now, we give the other men too much attention. The men doing wrong get more attention than the men doing right. The men doing right, it's like, oh, that's what I thought, that's what you're supposed to do. Then the men doing wrong, we're having 2-3 hour discussions about. That's a mental illness. And then you think that's going to make the men make changes? No, you do that when you start ignoring them. I don't even see them. Who? Bitch ass niggas? I don't see you. Okay, you can't touch this. Can't touch this. It's that simple. We have more power than we know. And instead of having a defeated attitude and complaining, we're going to step our game up and do what we need to do. I don't want to hear y'all talk about, oh, well, 6, if it works so good, why you not married? Y'all know my personal story, and I will tell y'all this. When I told y'all this last year, I've never stopped telling y'all this. Don't worry about me. I am not what you need to be worried about. And when we're having these conversations, we are having these conversations as a totality in women. I'm not sitting here having these conversations with y'all like, oh yes, I am so self-righteous and I'm perfect. And we are in this together. And I practice what I preach. And in my personal life, I know the results of practicing the things I preach. Y'all don't need to be worried about that. Don't worry about your big sis. She's good. This is work that we are all doing with each other. It is not for me to look down on anyone or anything like that. This is just simply work, and we are in this together, and we're going to shift this paradigm with one another. Okay? So I love y'all so much. I'm thinking about doing some video blogging this weekend because it's Juneteenth here in Atlanta and the city is going to be lit. Okay, there is so much Black excellence going on. I saw an event, a summit going on that I want to go to, but then I looked on the website and they didn't have any more VIP tickets, and I was like, do I look like general admission to you? Someone send these people an email and tell them, let me get a VIP ticket. I was like, VIP tickets sold out. White refrigerator. Oh, darling. Oh, darling, I need a VIP ticket, darling. Okay, I wanted to go to your event, but you talking about VIP sold out. Darling, do I look like general admission, darling? Honey, do I look like I'm walking through general admission? Oh, darling, I don't think so. So I'm gonna reach out to them and be like, hey, listen, excuse me, but can I get, a VIP ticket? Can y'all make space for one more? Because do I look like general admission to you? What's this event called? It's at 621 ATL, Black Wall Street, Black Business Expo. I go on the website, VIP sold out. So the VIP, you get to sit closer. You get to go into a little exclusive club. Okay. You get to skip the line. Okay. That's how I get down. General admission, you sit in the back, you waiting in line in the hot sun. Oh, darling, do I look like I'm waiting in a line, darling? Oh, darling. Darling, do I look like the type of gal that's going to be waiting in a line, darling? Oh, darling, I'm clutching my pearls, darling. Absolutely not. But anyway, there's some festivals going on at Centennial Park. My niece is doing a retreat this weekend. It's a whole vegan retreat, and they have a whole bunch of different events going on. We're going to be at Bar Vegan on Sunday. We're going to be out there doing a build. I'm going to be out and about this weekend. So I think, like I said, I'm going to try to do some video blogging and get y'all in on some of this Juneteenth action going on. And kind of let y'all see how I maneuver when I'm out and about. Okay. Okay. Let me think if I have any other church announcements. Yeah. Outside of that, we'll probably go live again Monday or Tuesday, I'm thinking. And so I'll keep you guys updated on that. So if you want to stay updated, make sure you're following my Instagram at Six the Goddess to stay updated on our videos when we're going to go live and stuff like that. Ladies, I hope you all took notes. Fellas, I hope you all took notes as well. Just paying attention to the mindsets and kind of characteristics that you want to be looking for a woman to have when you're choosing one as your wife. I think this wife series I'm about to do is going to be lit, and I think it's going to help so many women. So y'all stay tuned. It's going to be dope. We're going to try to do at least one wife per week for the series. Okay. I love y'all. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share with your mother, your sister, your auntie, your cousins, your neighbor, your boss, your teacher, whoever. Okay. Go ahead and share it with them. Subscribe. Join the Six of Goddess gang. Join the Goddess gang. Come on. Why would you not want to sit with us? We're cool over here. Okay. So I love you all so much. You all have a good evening and good night.